let's just do it right here and right now. Hey, everybody! Normally you get this on Patreon, but welcome to Unbriefing. We're gonna keep it. Clean though. Normally we just, you know. I mean, you don't have to. I just have to do more bleeps.
I'll do it. I haven't taken advantage of the unclean rating of Unbriefing the entire time until tonight. So I was just like living it up in the last one.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you guys, it's been
1 week.
Gosh, how many? When did we start? Did we start back in November or December?
That
sounds about right.
November?
December, we had finished up Hateful Place, actually.
That's right. That's right.
We literally started, I'm pretty sure we started the season in January.
Okay.
Like the
well,
first
I know that's when
session
we
of the
released.
year. Okay, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So
because I think about October we were playing a Hateful Place, and then we actually started in like November-ish, December-ish time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've had this sort of whole idea, and I said it before, but I've had the whole idea of like the Vampire Lair and the Vampire Manor and that sort of stuff is like the one for the Halloween episode, but also just because like, I like that this powerful creature was like kind of like a big thing, and it would have been it would have been a lot different had our magic caster been here for the finale. You would have definitely gone up against
Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
Oh yeah,
Frankenstein. You guys would have dealt him, but I had to. Having seen how immediately, like, because it was going to be like he was going to disappear, and then Frank was going to show up, and then he was going to show back up. Varkum was going to show back up. So it was like you guys would have had to have dealt with like a different thing and a different, sort of foe and that, that kind of stuff. So, it was just I kind of had to, restructure a bunch of stuff. But looking back on the season and the journey you guys took, we started with you three, we ended with you three. How does it feel?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of fitting that Yamhorn died a bunch in the sense that it's a season finale. And like, think about everything that happens to him on season finales. It's like character changing moments. Like, last time he fell into the lava.
That's true.
This time he died a whole bunch and got a glimpse on the other side of the veil.
But he's got Ulagan at his back now. So, that's a whole different thing.
He's kind of mad at him, but he still holds on to that because, he saw him, he heard him.
Never meet your heroes.
Hilarious too. I love that you brought his voice back.
Yeah,
no.
he saw him and he heard him, but at the same time, he kept having to go back and see him and hear him. And so it's like, if you're such a great and powerful guy.
Oh yeah, that's the first time Yamhorn has heard him, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I think I wasn't in.
Nope.
When you heard. Yeah. And so I don't know. I feel like he's not really proven himself to be such, like, he's there, but that's about it.
But you're still alive.
Yeah, kind of.
Mainly because of you. Yeah. And like, it's not like Ulagan was like the one actually doing the healing. Had you not healed him and left him to do death saving throws, which at some point I thought you would do because you guys would have taken down this vampire guy way quicker.
See, yeah, I was thinking about starting to do some damage, but then because I was thinking I'm not gonna let Yamhorn make any death saving throws.
It's the most work on both fronts that Ren has ever done. Like, you were doing a ton of damage
and healing,
and you were healing like every turn. Like,
yeah, that spiritual weapon does so much freaking damage, and I always cast it at like level 3, so it does extra D8.
Yeah, which is good.
That Beacon of Hope is pretty, or whatever it's called, is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was really helpful.
That one too. Yeah, just max healing.
You guys started off in a tavern, classic. You guys, your first adventure together was felling the tomb of Hiruk Dragonsbane. And then you guys were brought into Würzburg proper, in a parade, and then you escaped through the carnival town, met Cherry Godtooth, buck to play and a buck to win.
Yeah.
Met up with Van Bloodsport, of course. Watched your friend, Valtread, I believe was his name.
Yeah.
Get an arrow through the throat as the stone bed was closing. Made your way to 8 Peaks Bay. Did the Bull Gurham. Got in Bull Gurham.
Nikki.
Whipped on some people.
Yeah. Adopted Yuri.
Desecrated a church or transformed the church.
Got into a
Everybody
fight.
else thinks you desecrated it. You're the only one that thinks you did the right thing. And
but what about now? Now they know.
I mean, yeah,
It's getting out there.
yeah. Would you get it was 490 something followers or something?
It was 468 or something.
Yeah, and so
I like how you're casual or something.
yeah,
No.
and then you guys went through the. You guys went through, you hid and then went through. There was a time travel. You guys did the first time travel sort of jump. Time displacement rather. You guys just sort of ended up in the future, which I probably one of my favorite reactions from you guys in the season. Like when you guys grab that, you guys are always grabbing random guys. And you there, boy? What day is it?
Where are we?
And that was probably one of my favorite reactions all season. Was like when where you guys been for 9 months, and you guys are like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's I think about that all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite scenes was just when we were down there and we were having the battle of
Oh yeah, you and Durrock.
yeah.
It's fine. I'll pee my pants on this couch.
I know the trick now is whenever we have a roll off, I'm like, let's do athletics. Like we should just do strength now.
Straight strength.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Like I always thought your strength was really high, but I was basing it off of your athletics.
And then you guys, we had our Patreon player come on, Willoughby. You guys made it through Hunks of Trunks and did
Poor
all the.
guy.
Oh, he got.
He's dead across all platforms.
Yeah.
He's so dead. And yeah, I mean.
When he came on and right out the gate, he
Dropped,
the F-bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It was like, I effing hate this SH, basically, I think is what it is. And we're like, wow. First sentence out the gate. But
the podcast, right?
yeah, way to go, John. And but then and then the Caves of FSAF, I really like that because it's kind of Indiana Jones stuff. Like I just watched
Raiders.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we're recording this, it's 12:37 at night now. We've been playing since about 6:30ish in the afternoon, or in the evening, early evening rather. And but no, the third one,
Crusade.
Oh,
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
yeah.
And so I was like, that was kind of like my idea. I think one of my favorite things was like I gave you like that bridge at the beginning, and Durek's like, yeah, I'm going to use my rope, and then and then you did something, and when we get to the other side, and like you did something where you guys got to the other side, and you're like, now what does it look like? I'm like, it looks like a normal bridge.
Yeah.
Like, I love doing stuff like that. But then the cave walls with and then the rope
Purple.
room, American Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah, where I critted with my sweet rope to grab a key or something.
Oh yeah, that made me so mad because I wanted to get rid of that rope.
Yeah.
And it was like
You were gonna jolt him or something.
Yeah, it was like it was
charge.
gonna shock him unless he got I think it was so high because I was like, screw that stupid rope, and then you critted. I was like,
yeah, no, it was divine. Yeah.
And then you guys got into the trunks and you met Nikki and some of the Resistance and
Bloodsport.
and Bloodsport was back, and you also met Ginger Nuts Muffin Scarf and
I loved
Buttons.
That scene. I was re-listening to that episode the other day. It made me laugh
because
so
Caleb
hard.
is so mad. and
he doesn't he's just not playing along. That's what it is. It's like Yamhorn's just like.
And my favorite thing that Yamhorn / Caleb does is like when I give him something and he doesn't like it, it's not enough for him. So he'll be like you, and I'm like, I'm Buttons, and what's going on? And then you're like, oh God, who are you? And I'm like, hi, I'm Ginger Nuts, and you're like, God. So what bugs you? Is it just the voice?
I think so. I think it is because it is so cheerful.
Yeah.
And that's not my normal disposition.
I loved in that one too. Durock was all like, they're like, we're little helpers, from up north or whatever. He's like trying to be all like,
we're the jolly little elves from up north.
Yeah, and as I was just like, oh my God, I'm so delighted to meet you guys.
Yeah, I loved.
Is he here?
Oh no, that's what I like. I was like, oh, my friend over there. Oh my God, he's here. I'm like, no, not him. Yeah,
I was laughing so hard re-listening to that because I was like,
all about it.
The timing was so spot on.
Caleb blocked it out. Caleb's like, enough with this trauma.
Real.
Yeah, and then you guys made your way to Lorelin and the Elven country and that sort of stuff, and then that's kind of like where Peleus came in, and that's probably one of my favorite little pieces. I was telling Milo this earlier that my daughter and her friends started playing, and I was like, "Who DMs for you?" And she's like, "Oh, one of our friends." I was like, "Well, if you ever want like someone else so you can all play." I was telling Milo I could run putting them on Peleus' ship and run getting to the island and doing that entire thing, and then when they fight the druid at the end, then they just get some magical, like as like a fun sort of long one shot for them or something like that, like a 6-7 hour session or something like that, like if they ever wanted to play that long.
How old are they?
They're freshmen in high school,
okay,
I believe. I think they all are. But I was telling him, I was like, that would be fun to do. I could also do, like I was thinking about different places here. I mean, I could simply do the Tomb of Hiruk, and because you guys all got cool stuff at the end of that. I went back and re-listened to the entire season over the last week. Oh, wow. And in even the episodes that at this point haven't been released yet, as this is, we're recording this in September, and re-listened to everything, so I had it fresh in my head, kind of like where everything was. What are some other highlights for you guys?
I think the biggest highlight is you just going over all these things that we've done, and I just can't believe like how much of a story has been told. It surprises me, like when you lay it all out there, like how much we've done as a group. Yeah,
and and then after Ashwin or whatever, then you had the whole Inendrail thing, and that was like 4 episodes. Like all you guys separating and that sort of thing, and having to do that, and then you guys all coming back together right when you time traveled. At this point, I believe the 3rd episode in that session is coming out on Monday as of this point. I think that's episode 38. And that's right when I believe you guys are about to meet up and bust with Baramis for the first time.
Another good point.
If you want to do a season highlight, though, definitely my highlight was meeting Ulagan. That was just so hilarious to me. And also at the same time, I was trying so hard to just be Ren. And at that point, I hadn't really found his voice yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like after that, it was kind of like, okay, I know who Ren is now. This is the character.
You're obnoxious. This is who you are. Which everyone you meet now just...
Have you heard?
Hi, have you heard the good news? Here's a watchtower.
Yeah.
That's why I just have like everyone walk away from you now, pretty much. I'm just like,
he's going to start chasing him down.
Yeah. Oh, well, be careful who you chase down.
For me, it wasn't necessarily because I thought the RP was particularly good or anything like that, but a pivotal moment for me and my character was when we were dealing with Inendrail and I got the blessing from Ren.
Oh yeah, from across dimensions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. After calling out, I think, because that's kind of
Ren bless me, and then you're like, oh, I got the
like
shivers.
That diverted Yamhorn, I think.
Yeah.
For so far the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off of story and that sort of stuff, because then you guys were in Bulgurum and you did the stuff and you fought Baramis, you kind of drove out his people and that's, and that was all great. And then, and then they sent you on this sort of adventure to come here to get these things that'll help you in the quest. Yeah, as far as story wise, like kind of going around, and you can say more if you want, Milo, but like now that I've gone through the whole thing, what are you thinking of the story and what are you thinking of the thing? Because I always get nervous that like you guys aren't gonna like it, and I'm like. And there's like really only so much stuff you kind of can do. Like there's only so long that you can give a bunch of story, and then there's only so long like you can give a bunch of action or whatever, and there's only so long you can do this and trying to like come up with new and unique, weird kind of ways of subverting those ideas. But as far as like like what you're saying now that you have this, what do you think of the story and like your sort of arc? Because I think this is 46 or 47 episodes that we did. Jeez. Yeah.
The creepy factor of this most recent arc section is probably my favorite. I love creepy vibe stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But what are you guys thinking of the whole over arc of the story thus far?
Good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good. I just have no idea how this is going to play out. Which, I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
that definitely a good thing.
But I'm really
otherwise, hey, stay out of my season 3 notebook.
Conveniently labeled so you know what you're about to read when you break the rules.
I know it exists. But dragons and dragons, like dragons fighting dragons.
Yeah.
And we're somehow gonna be a part of that.
Yeah,
it's
I'm wondering.
exciting.
Yeah, how all of the things that we're collecting are going to come, and I mean, they're really cool things.
Yeah. Like you haven't used your shield at all yet, have you?
No.
I was wondering
about
why weren't
pulling it
you
out.
using it fighting Varkum?
I needed to.
He was dying too much to.
Yeah.
Every time he reaches for it, he gets killed. He's like, "Damn it!" He wakes up. Oh God!
I did again.
But I could have a shield and not get. I mean, he still beat my AC with or without it. But
yeah,
I
most of
wanted
the time
to make
because
sure.
he was rolling like 20.
But what other effects does your shield have?
It's all stuff against like sneak attack and magic missile and flame and
fire.
stuff like that. Yeah. So
nothing that's
for me,
proof.
the +2 was not worth taking away the ability to do 2-hand damage.
Yeah.
Got it.
Since everything was being halved, so
that's fine. I literally think that every time. I'm like, nothing is worth Dorak not taking an attack action.
Yeah.
Except I did that. I was like, I'm going to talk to him, and then he just almost kills you again. I was like, well, there was 20 damage potentially that I just didn't deal.
Rhett, what do you think of the overall story arc of season 1? Looking back
it's
on
good.
it.
It's been like really, really hyper focused, but also like really expansive in a way too, right? Like we introduced a lot of different conflicts and new characters. They're all like related, but also it's all spread out, right? Like, some of the memorable characters that I think of is like Nikki, like while she is directly related to the underground and like resisting, like Baramis even, like just that whole storyline. I don't know.
Not anymore. He's dead.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. That was awesome. That was like my highlight. I loved
You loved killing him?
Yeah. That was so satisfying being like just whooping his ass. Like,
what do you think? I mean, if that's the answer, that's fine. But what was maybe your favorite sort of grouping of sessions for you to play?
Favorite grouping?
Just for the listener, I think we said it before, but we started at 3, but then we went to like 4 basically episodes a session, which is why they all kind of have like a certain, and I started actually kind of writing in that way once I kind of figured out where you guys were. I could kind of like, so like we kept the momentum. So the next time we came back, it was like a new.
Yeah, I'd say everything like one of my a couple of my favorite groupings was like the ride from Eight Peaks Bay to Bulgurum and that whole thing. And I think that was the same session we did like the Bulgurum move. Then we did the fighting. We did like the training missions and like fighting.
that was fun.
Yeah,
and then
you
we
got in
did-
there. Yeah, it's like you started that session. You started fresh at and you like went back and apologized to Blaze Blackjack, and then like And what's funny about that too is that like I was like. It's funny that you like that so much is that I was like, they did so much RP, and they kind of like there was like there was adventure or whatever, but they rowed a boat and they got away from stuff, and they kind of got in this town and they were talking to people in this bar and they got drunk or whatever, and Yumhorn got a net, which you've never once used.
That's right.
You've got that Scooby-Doo net that's kind of
Yeah,
weighted.
that would have been helpful fighting a Scooby-Doo bad guy.
Yeah.
Where he keeps it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's got to be some sort of conflict on here. So like, I actually felt weak as like a DM, be like, well, you get attacked by
No, I love
bandit
that.
guys.
It felt fun because it was like kind of a relief from the
But they were
pressure of the
numbered.
story. Yeah, I know, and we never explored that further. Yeah, we did actually later on.
I mean, you talk to the guy. I'm just saying, there's a close to a whole handwritten page about that whole situation that has not been touched yet.
It makes me think of the Pineapple Gang, like from Sneak Attack, where there wasn't intentionally a big
mine is
storyline
intentional.
there? Okay.
Because I gave you guys certain information that like you were just kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, he was number 19.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's something like that. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of like what's important and what's not. We're constantly like parsing information.
Yeah.
But that one was fun, and even if it does tie in somehow or whatever, it just felt like a relief from the pressure of saving the world or whatever, right? We got to go on a little car ride, get into with some random people and then get on and do the next stuff. And that's what was fun about the battling in the rings, doing the house thing.
Oh, yeah.
That because it was like a little break from having to
I think my favorite part about
that
that session was you constantly hitting on Nikki and being like, well, anyway, I was see you later. So, and I'm like, I'm married. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then you went and got drunk at the bar and then you came back and you're like,
oh, yeah.
I have more things to tell you. I'm like, get out.
Yeah. Kind of forgot about that.
I definitely love the island and the giant like wind guy and the
the wind giant or the whatever
Wind
it was.
elemental.
Yeah, the wind
tornado
elemental.
with the fangs.
yeah.
I'll grab the
and
next
Oh
one.
yeah,
Hercules style.
Pokemon character, wherever
and
he
the
looks like.
slide and the
Oh yeah, the
druid.
slide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that little mini arc was definitely probably my favorite so far.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say too, like the first session we did.
Why did
with
you enjoy it so
Peleus.
much? Hold on, real quick.
The thing I really like the druid fight. I like
Okay.
I like the visuals of the island. Like
I think that was
pulling
my
out
most
away.
frustrating as a DM because that was a session that we fought the most as a group, and I just cut it out of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
But every single session of those 4, there was something, and especially like the last 2 or 3 when you're fighting Ashman. I think that definitely the last 2, but we went over the same information, which was action, movement, bonus action, the same fight every time, and it just got more and more infuriating. But anyway, sorry. So
that was definitely frustrating, but at the same time, I really enjoyed like the different characters and the way the island was set up, and all that stuff was really fun for me.
Yeah, the slides were all improv. Like I think I said this before, but it's like I watched the Goonies scene a couple times, and then I watched like a bunch of like POV of roller coaster rides,
Ugh.
and like I just like watched it. Like I just would, I didn't like really even take notes on it. I just watched them and then was like, okay, this will all be in my head, and I could start pulling from them and stuff like that. That's cool. Yamhorn, did you have a favorite sort of grouping?
Definitely this most recent one.
The
Halloween.
okay.
The Halloween art.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Okay,
me,
cool. That's awesome.
it scratches my itch.
And
Real good.
yeah, any thoughts to the future? We'll start with Ren. Any thoughts to the future? Any idea of what you could possibly having to be doing, and with these items that you guys all have, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, we need a boat.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
That's pretty straightforward and accurate.
Yeah. As far as I'm still not sure what all of the items are supposed to be doing together yet.
Right. Any thoughts on the
Are we
dragons?
gonna make like a big Voltron? like with swords,
Dragon
and
Voltron.
shields. Yeah.
Just beat it's like Megazord whenever you
Yeah,
have to fight the
exactly.
big baddies that come
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the two dragons we know, we like the one and we don't like the other,
Yeah.
and we're not sure about the
Sid
whether
Set,
or not the one
Lady of the Yellow.
is alive or not. The one that we have the shield and the
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some research. on that.
Well, you know that he's not alive, at least as far as you know, because Inandril is that's her brother, and she has said he hasn't been seen for 1,000 years since Zarvog killed him.
so there might be an egg of him somewhere. Is what I'm
Zarvog's
thinking. Yeah.
Little bee.
Hey.
Could there be? Yami, you got any ideas what the future may hold?
No, but I'm looking forward to the other piece of the sword. That's as soon as it clicked that this is because when you were describing it, like part of it's rounded, part of it's flat. I was thinking, what? But then once you kept describing it, it clicked, and I just want the whole thing.
Did you know what it was before I said it out loud?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, there was some conversation happening between you and Duroc, and I think it clicked somewhere in there.
Okay.
But it was about the same time that you were coming out with it, and I'm
So
looking
no
forward to that.
predictions
No,
for season 3?
I can't. There's no way.
Well, I know that we go do some pirate stuff.
Yeah, pirate stuff, swords, and dragons.
Yeah.
I think there's
Am I
going to be
right?
some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
There's gotta be some
probably.
dungeons involved too.
Yeah, and
Yeah. Any
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my total hit points are 73 typically. My new total of what I can heal up to is 27.
That's got to get.
Wow.
We'll
he
fix that
he could have
somehow.
killed you.
He did several times.
Well, I mean, like outright.
yeah.
Because he would have had to do negative
The
23 damage.
yeah.
Yeah. But
the
I think
lowest
that-
I got to, I think,
he was
was
trying.
negative 18.
Yeah. I think that ends after a long rest.
It does.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
It does end after a long rest.
Yeah. I got 10 that I need back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun thinking about where we're headed and everything because it's like in some ways, there's lots. We could just do whatever we want. In some ways, we have a lot more story to cover and got to save the world. But
You can do. I mean, you could do whatever. I mean, it wouldn't be great podcasting and be very selfish.
Let's
You're like, let's hang out in Bull Durham, and we all live happily ever after.
yeah,
Yeah,
No, but I was-
Rin wouldn't do
We
that.
become vampires, and
I was thinking, we could. It's like it's possible that we could like revisit Bravik, or we could go to like the other places, like where like Yamhorn is from, like that other place, or there's like yeah.
I'll give you a hint. You guys will be traveling a lot next season
Nice.
on the road.
pack your bags.
Yeah, pack your bags.
But I really need Lord Varkham to know that if he steps out of line with his vampire stuff, I'm gonna come back and lay the beat down on him.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let Charles let him know to tell his master that before we go. So
You realize,
you've already left. He kicked you out.
I forgot he did close the door. Yeah.
yeah,
We're locked out now.
Well,
As the door
it's a
shut, the
silent-
season ended.
It's a silent vow I keep to myself as I walk away that if he's like, I'm going to start turning a whole town into vampires. Like,
Well-
I'm going to come back and personally handle it.
And Caleb, I tried to sort of give you like an in on this, because you had said it off mic. But yeah, had you guys done more like looking at the paintings and that sort of stuff, and if you had rolled high enough like on multiple paintings, you would have realized that damn, all of his male relatives look eerily similar.
Well, you made one remark about the hair length. And in my mind, the lore of vampires is that their hair doesn't change. Like an Interview with a Vampire when Kirsten Dunst goes to cut her hair, and it goes back to how it was before she cut it.
Yeah,
I was thinking, so it's like, how would he have longer or shorter hair, in
Wigs.
the past? So, yeah, well, right. It makes sense now. But while we were playing, I was like, definitely not a vampire. Like,
yeah. When did it click for you guys? Like, and how much back and forth were you guys with like, was he a vampire? Wasn't he a vampire? Type of thing.
in my mind immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like the second you met him,
yeah,
like
I was
out
like,
back.
this dude's creep, And
rolling up to his house the first time, I was like, a vampire definitely lives here. But then talking with him and everything, I wasn't sure until he started biting people, and I was like, definitely a vampire.
and he was.
You mean biting Yumhorn?
Yeah, the only person he bit.
He was playing the long game. Like he didn't. He was like, "Oh, just come back," you know. Like he let us go. So I was thinking, okay, even if he is a vampire, he's not a terrible guy.
Plus, again, like Durok's never met a place that he couldn't fight his way out of, and it's still true.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
so far.
I'm not quite sure how like adventure, like the books that you get or whatever from Wizards of the D&D books. But I downloaded, found a free PDF of Curse of Strahd.
Cool. Oh.
And read the entire thing. And like I basically I took his house and then I just like Lego pieces move stuff around for my version of it or whatever. There's a whole thing like when you go up the stairs here, I'm pointing to the map for the listeners. When you go up the stairs, there's this room over here. This is walled off, so you can't get in here. Then there's this weird sort of diagonal thing that goes over that takes you above the dining hall thing, and then you guys would have to explore the rest of the place.
I wish we could.
I really wanted to go in that tower.
Yeah, it would have. The only thing I will say it would have been hard for you to get into that tower.
I do have a sword that vaporizes
cool
people now. So
I'm sure there's so many cool rooms and creepy things to find.
Yeah, we can go back. Like I said, he gets out of line. We'll go back and be like.
He did say, I mean, if you remember Charles,
he said, come back,
he did say, hey, when you get back to the future, look us up.
That's the one reason I didn't start talking mad crap to him afterwards. I was like, actually, his litter was pretty nice.
Yeah.
He was real friendly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what'd you guys think of for the listeners? You guys will see it on social media. What do you guys think of your letters and the
legit
and the wax seals?
The seal is
super
tight.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I need something fun for like this because I know we're going to be ending the season for this session, so I need some like cool opening, something like tactile that they can really dig their hands into.
I love the choice of like everything, just like the handwriting that you did. Like
that's my normal handwriting.
Well, I know, but
I just got one of those pens where like it's like a really fine felt tip. They use them a lot for like lining different art or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so it's very like bendy
or whatever.
Yeah, it's very bendy, and so it's like kind of like a calligraphy thing where it's like I would lean into it. And yeah, I just have elaborate handwriting because I wanted to draw comics as a kid. But I read The Curse of Strahd and I listened to some podcasts, like different things where they played through the whole like adventure, basically the whole book. I don't quite get how those books are set up, but I kind of think I do the similar thing in my notes, or whatever, for things. But yeah, there was like different perception check things that you guys could do. There was different. In the bar, the first one, D4 random encounters. I was rolling a D4. One was a bar thief tries to steal your coin purse. Roll a D4 to pick your player. And then
good thing you didn't do it to me because I don't really have anything.
Well, yeah, I meta knowing that Durok has money. Yeah. But also he did roll Durok, so I was like, okay, good. 2 was a barfly challenges you to a drinking contest.
I was hoping that would have happened. Yeah.
3 was going to be a side quest rolled out of the book. Like I would just randomly roll some stuff. And then 4 was a very persuasive lady distracts one of you. Uh-oh. And her charisma was off the charts. It would have been nigh impossible for you to get out of it. So I'm glad it was the money one, honestly. Yeah. Oh, by the way, gentlemen, for defeating the adventure of Slatebrook Manor. It is my great pleasure to bestow upon you 10,000 XP.
Jeez.
Hey, that's what you get for beating a vampire, man. It's in the book.
Definitely leveled up finally.
So, season 3 coming back, level 9.
We gained 2 levels in a whole season.
Well, I was actually kind of, I mean, but if you think about it, that's 9 months
Yeah.
and 47 episodes. So that's, and depending on the episode length and stuff, like that's over
That's a lot of
50 hours of
sessions.
play.
Yeah.
There's probably over 50 hours of play. So I think that's pretty fair. Like I hit you guys like really early on with the Tomb of Hiruk, and then I didn't really give you much. And I give you a little bit here and there. And then, I gave you some for the island. But yeah, I wanted to prep you guys because it's only going to get harder.
Don't say that.
Get a lot of cool
I'm
I
now
died a lot.
indomitable, so
What does that mean?
I can re-roll failed saving throws.
Oh, that's awesome. And I only used one of his legendary actions once. He has a couple other, the vampire had a Varkum Slatebrook had a couple legendary actions. I mean, guys can look it up in the, the old monster manual. Yeah. I love that sort of, like, I've been looking in, what I do is like, I'll go through the monster manual just randomly. Like if I'm having a hard time, like thinking about story, and if I just find something that I think is interesting, I'll be like, okay, how can I work that into the story? How can I work this thing, like this creature, this whatever it is, into the story? And it sometimes it like I'm like, okay, I have this whole thing. Oh man, you know what I could do? And then like that actually helps like get stuff going. It's like just kind of randomly looking through that sort of thing. But yeah,
That's the juices.
yeah, you're balling out of control at level 9 now, and then with some change, I believe, because you guys are fairly close already.
Yeah, we were just a couple
Hop,
thousand
skip, and
away.
a jump. Well, ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in all season. Hey, we're going to have something very, very exciting for you. This was my birthday session finishing this season. Now, in order to tide you over to until we start, releasing season 3, I believe. How many episodes is it?
I don't.
Sifu?
I
Is it
think it's
6,
maybe 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't diced up the latter parts yet, but I'm working on the second one right now.
For Caleb's birthday back in, when was it? Back in May, he created a baller campaign that really made me mad and actually I think helped me a lot as a DM, because like you've read all the books, all the stuff. I just listened to a ton of podcasts, D&D podcasts, and skim the book. And like if I come up with a scenario, I'll look for those rules, in that situation, like either in the player's handbook or whatever it is, and kind of like learn, like, geared towards like my adventure, which is why, folks, we're called chaotic amateurs, because you don't know what we're doing. But you wrote, I think you guys are all really going to love it, and you get to. I'm playing again. It was myself. It was Rhett. It was Milo. Was it just
Jonathan for a few?
Yeah, we had another friend, but we lost a couple people. So I'm playing multiple characters. If you love Rhett as Durrock, you're gonna love him as what's his dumb name?
I had both the characters
Bucky.
I played. Yeah, Carmelo T. Bucky Muckbuckle. Carmelo T. Bucky Muckbuckle. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with him, and then I also had a lot of fun playing Andy, the robot.
Yeah, and so there's a
Warforged.
lot of cool stuff. Our old pal Yami here did such a wonderful job
Yeah.
of creating this adventure, and it's something that like he did such a bang up job of writing it, creating it, and all the scenarios. Like he sent me the zip file because I was going to run it for some friends, and just didn't end up happening. But you guys could
You just wanted
take
all
it.
the secrets.
No, you took out a bunch of them, and honestly, I didn't look at it until they were going to confirm with me, but they never ended up confirming, so I haven't even looked at it. But he did such a fantastic job. So you're going to be hearing that. You're going to be hearing those episodes. I'll be playing again. I play like a big old. I forget what I am. I'm like a half ogre.
You're
I'm
just
half-
I'm a level
Yuri
3
is.
Yuri.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a level 3 Yuri, and I keep calling myself Yuri, and you guys keep correcting me. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
shut
because
up.
Nash was a good name.
Nash.
Rogue Butt.
Yeah.
Rogue Butt was really.
I think it was
Yeah.
like Rogue Butt or Rug. I think it was some sort of umlauted thing, but I just got sloppy because once again it was like a 6 p.m. to like 1 a.m. thing, and it was like, he's Rogue Butt. He's a Rogue Butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good, and I'm very excited for you folks to hear it. And then we'll be back with our little group here, and we're going to be having some unique things. I do some improvising down at the local comedy club, and ever since it came out one time during an improv that I all of a sudden I had like all this D&D knowledge. I had several people approach me like, do you play D&D? Like it's like this secret drug dealer, like you play D&D? And I'm
That
like
is D&D. That's how it works. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, you know the handshake? And I'm like, yeah, man, I play. Like, do you play? So we're going to be having at least 3 guest people who are all improvisers, who all play, and who are going to have little story arcs of their own. And I think you're going to like some of my choices on some of them, just
That's a really cool idea.
because physically, with you guys sitting in the room with them, I mean, it's like Milo being Ren. Milo, what, you're like 6'4", 6'5", or something. You're a pretty tall dude, and you play a little 2'8" guy, so it's like, some of the people with the characters that they will be playing, it's going to be, I'm very excited to see their choices because I've given them some information, and great thing is they all listen to the show. So at this point, they're all caught up and they know what's going down.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you all very much for listening
It's been
to
so much fun.
Chaotic Amateurs Season 2. For the last time in Season 2, I've been your host and DM, Bentley Michaels. To my right, I have
Caleb as Yamhorn Doril.
And Rhett as Duroc Dragon's Bane.
Milo is Ren.
Grab your swords and keep on adventuring.